The index shows that the average state score is just 50 out of 100, with only 5 states in DC rising above failing grades. How would you explain the lack of progress?
Fragmentation. So if you think about every state having their own juvenile justice system, education system, healthcare system, law enforcement system, judicial system, many of these systems do not talk to each other within their own state. Children fall through the cracks.
What barriers kept you from speaking out earlier?
When you're assaulted or abused by the person you love, a mentor, someone you trust, the world does not make sense. 1 in 6 men have been abused in this country. And that means that there's close to 30 million American men that are walking around right now and they're not talking. There's a lot of really subtle places in which families and members and aunts and uncles can notice things in someone's behavior and give space for men to have that first conversation. And as a result, I believe you will end up with 27, 30 million more advocates to help do the work that women have been leading in protecting children and keeping them safe.
So what can legislators do to ensure protecting children becomes a political priority?
Protecting children is nonpartisan. Everybody wants to protect children. Everybody wants to make sure that children are kept safe. It's how do we go about doing that? You can go back to policymakers and say, hey, we're not doing so great. Here's where we need to look at to make us better. And I think this report provides an opportunity to do so that you can go to policymakers and make a difference.
What could have made disclosure safer or easier for you?
As a leader growing up, I want to solve problems. I want to get to the root to solve what's going on, and sometimes people do not need their problem solved at the time. Sometimes they just need someone to listen. Just put down the phone, step away from the internet for a little bit, and just simply listen.
What structural changes are needed to ensure every child has access to a CAC that meets national standards?
Well, there's 3,114 counties. We only have under 1,000 child advocacy centers. What the Out of the Shadows Index has said is we need 1 in every county. A child needs access to the best standard of care as soon as humanly possible when they've had the ability to come forward and tell their story.
Why should states pass legislation that eliminates statute of limitations for child sexual abuse and exploitation?
There is no statute of limitations of my pain. A smell, a sound can put us in a place that is very, very bad. That's why we should be eliminating the statute of limitations.
Online harms are growing rapidly. What innovations hold the most promise?
There's actual websites that give parents language on how to talk to their children about it, because the parents need to reinforce what's being done in school, but I think the goal is to frame it all under the concept of safety, and that my goal is to keep you safe.
Tell us one thing that'll give us hope.
We're not going to eliminate perpetrators. We're not. But we are going to change the time that we react to them. And that's where the difference happens. And then we can get in there and do that work and get those kids into children advocacy centers and support.
This report is one of the best reports I have ever read in my career. We need to take it out of the shadows, and you need to tell two people when you leave here today what you learned, and do not put this report on the shelf. Keep it next to you, pick it up, read it every once in a while. We will even have a link on our website about get to your legislator. Click on it, get to your legislator when you decide what you want to do.
Most of us aren't going to change the world, but you can change the world of one child, and that is more than enough. You have that ripple effect, it will spread. Continue doing the good things that you do, believe, and sometimes just listen.